we need a moral compass, right? And then spirituality, God, heaven, hell, whatever you believe in, right? Even the Muslims believe in their version of heaven. Um, so all religions, all spiritual beliefs have had a moral compass, as far as we know it. For the all of our humanity's length, we've had some sort of moral compass. Even before the advent of Christianity, even the Egyptians, they would have a moral compass, the sun god, right? Everybody had a moral compass. With a lack of a moral compass, what happens is very easy to confuse people. It's very easy to move people away. And that's where the rise of governments come in, where they take over the power. They become the version of God for people. And I think that's where the society as a whole starts to fall place without a moral compass. Because, I mean, think about it. If majority of the population actually genuinely believed that there is no higher purpose, there is no God, there is nothing else beyond this life, it's over, that's going to lead to chaos because nobody's going to think about, am I doing good? Am I doing bad? Is this something I should be doing? It should not be doing? There's
Yeah.
no moral compass. So
Yeah,
you're
it's not
likely to do
inherent in us.
things that
It's
cause
not
anarchy.
inherent in us to know what good is, kind of. We need to be guided. We need that compass to tell us what it is, which I can't say I disagree with that, given how it is. All right, let me ask a generalized, intentionally like simplistic, arguably ignorant question, but I think it's a fair one to like spark a conversation around. For those who maybe were just dropping into this conversation out of the blue, they might be like, oh, this is a philosopher. This is somebody that maybe lives in a cave with great wisdom. You work in finance, right? And a lot of your work is in finance and trading and investments, which a lot of people might hear that and be like, wait, like that seems to be in the other direction from what we're talking about here. And I say, right, that's overly simplistic and a generalization, but there is kind of that view of it. Reconcile that for me, for people of like, how does what we're talking about fit into how you're spending your days and the work that you do?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, trading for me has been the biggest personal development journey that I've embarked on, right? Like, I've learned more about myself by being a trader than anything else because trading can bring the best out in you, but it can also bring the worst out in you, right? When you're risking, let's say, millions of dollars every single day and your fluctuations are a few 100,000 every single morning, then you need to learn how to be emotionally in control and stable. And also, what is trading, right? Trading is just a combination amalgamation of everything that's happening in the world. This person's feeling a little bit of fear. This person's feeling a little bit of greed. Everybody's acting in a certain way. And that's what's causing the market prices to go up or down. So the way I look at it spiritually is I need to be alignment with the whole consciousness of the market to be able to decide, hey, is this a fear moment? Is this a greed moment? And that's how I try to align myself spiritually with the overall consensus of the market so I can make a next likely logical decision based on statistics of what the markets or what that stock might do based on its prior history of what the consciousness did previously. So I take a little bit of a holistic approach when it comes to my trading.
I mean, that's a good answer. That's a better answer than I think many people, myself included, would expect in that. Let me press on it a little bit because that's kind of the nature of the show. At the end of the day, is it still true, though, that the ultimate objective for you is to maximize returns? Because that's where I think some people might question and say, like, what's really the moral compass there? What's really driving you? Is it that greater good and that greater sense? Or is it really, if it gets down to it, it's, I got to maximize returns at the end of the day?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it, right? Like we're all trading as a way to make an income, to make a living, right? To pay our bills. Now, the good that comes from it, in my opinion, is because I also run newsletters, I teach courses and programs. So when I get an email and I wake up this morning, hey, man, I was a plumber making 60,000 a year. I've been trading with you guys for 3 years now. Now I'm not like a millionaire or anything, but I make the same 60K, but I do it from home now, trading. Like to me, that's a good feeling. Like for me, that's my moral compass is because I'm not going to do this for all of my life. But if I can even change one person's life and have him do something, that's my higher purpose. And I've written it down, It's like I read my values every day. My purpose is to be the best version of myself and show others a path to do the same thing and be financially secure. So that's kind of why I do what I do in terms of teaching people. But then also think about it. If I'm buying or selling a stock, and you're an investor who's not a trader, who's also buying or selling a stock, I'm creating liquidity for you to enter or exit a position to make your investment decision. If there's no traders like me, do you know what the spread would be if you had to get out of your investment, right? Nobody would invest in the stock market. Now, what happens when nobody invests in the stock market? Companies don't get money. What happens when companies don't get money? Companies don't grow. What happens when they don't grow? They don't employ people. What happens when they don't employ people? People don't have jobs. They don't have income to live on. So it's a very, I've thought this through of why I got into trading because it's really important to me. There's a lot of moving pieces that a small little trader pressing a button affects a bigger chain of reaction of things.
What is the backstory to it? And again, I mentioned in the pre-show, like I like to ask questions, not in any way to suggest or anything like that, but just I'm super curious and I like to understand, like, What's the backstory of how you got into trading? Was it that you got into it and then started to realize these benefits and like, oh, this works out? Or did you like make a very intentional decision to say everything you just said is true, therefore I'm going to go into this field?
Yeah, no, originally it was purely I needed something to do. I needed to make money. I was in college and applying for internships and jobs. So I went to college in London, and there you had to do a year of work before you can finish graduation in my college. So that year I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find an internships. I applied from the best companies all the way down to the lowest startups and just didn't get in call in anywhere. And I saw all my friends getting, nice 80K, 100K jobs. And I was just in my dorm room figuring out I need to do something. And being an introvert that I was like, what can I find on the computer? Let's Google. Started, searching a few other type of online things. I was like, not for me. Then I read a few books about trading, and I was like, wow, like this seems it's like a sport, and I could be good at it because I was never good at sport. I was like, this could be my sport. I could be good at it. I could perform in this, and I just took it at heart and read one book after the other, just devoured because again, I didn't get a job, so I was in my dorm room with a bunch of time, watching videos on this topic, watching movies, and then I started really researching and really got good at explaining stocks without even trading at that moment. And I was writing articles for Yahoo Finance, Motley Fool while I was in my dorm room. That's how I made my first amount of money. They would pay me $1,000 an article, and I would just write 10 of them. So that's how I
Crank it
collected
out.
my initial money for my trading account, and that's
Were
where the
you
journey
enjoying
began.
it? Was there like a natural passion and love for it?
Sorry.
Did you enjoy it at that point? Was it like a natural passion and love for it, or was it more like opportunistic? Like I see there's a potential for something to be here.
Yeah, I think it started with opportunist, and then after that, I just got so curious about it, and I just wanted to learn more. I wanted to be the best at it, and the curiosity just kept fueling. So as I did it more, I became more and more passionate.